Welcome to the Automatic Patient Podcast, where we help your dental practice create a kick-ass recurring revenue model. Here are your hosts, Mr. Jordan and Justin Comstock. This podcast is powered by BoomCloud. Create, manage, and grow your dental membership program. Schedule a demo on boomcloud.com.
What's up, everybody? Super pumped to be on the show today. I got a friend and an industry expert. His name is Justin Koch. Justin, what's up, and welcome to the podcast today, man.
Hey, Jordan, how's it going? Glad to be here.
Good, man. Just shipped a bunch of my team off to the Yankee Dental Conference, so it's not as wild as usual in the BoomCloud offices today, but pumped to be going to another event again. So. Yeah, how are you doing?
It was nice seeing you guys in New York. I wasn't able to make it to Yankee. I can't fly right now, a little bit of eye issues, but I'll plan to get back at it pretty quick.
Yeah, are you guys going to midwinter or any other events?
Yeah, the plan is to be a midwinter if things work out, but that's the plan right now.
Cool. Yeah, we'll be at midwinter at Yankee right now, going to Hinman, really all the big ones this year. So I'll go to several of them, but I won't go to all of them because, you know, I got a young family and all girls. They want me to be at home, so I try to stay at home.
I'm a girl dad too. You know,
yeah,
we've talked about that. Yeah, I got 2 daughters at home as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I got three daughters, and I used to have a dog that was also a female, so I was really surrounded in all aspects with girls.
It's my world. I got a wife, 2 daughters, 2 female dogs, and a company of 250 people. 9% of them are women. So I get it. It's my world.
That's your world, man. Yeah.
My world.
In fact, fun story. My oldest daughter, she's 8. Her name is Lennon. And she's super rad. If you go to our website, BoomCloud, you'll notice that there's pink everywhere. So my daughter is the one that chose that pink, and I fell in love with it. And now it's everywhere in our brand, the pink inside the software, everywhere. And
it was lightning bolt behind you on your board.
Yep, I got a pink lightning bolt. I have pink shoes. When we go to events, I have like a pink watch band, pink shoes, and pink phone cover. And so do all my employees. And it all stemmed because my oldest daughter, I was teaching her how to set up like websites and that you can control them and change them. And she's like, no way. And I said, I pulled up the BoomCloud website and because I have access to it. And I'm like, what color do you want to change that button to? And she chose this pink color, and it just looked really good with the blue. I call it our cotton candy theme. But I loved it so much. And yeah, my daughters are always a huge influence in what we do here. They come in and visit my team, and it's a lot of fun. So no, that's awesome. So Justin, you are the do I call you founder or owner of 7 to 7 Dental? What do I call you there?
Both. I mean, founder, CEO.
Owner, all of the above. Well, you started 7 to 7 Dental over in Texas. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself? How did you get into dentistry? What did you do even before dentistry? Kind of give that story and what you guys are doing now at 7 to 7.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a common question I get asked because I'm not a dentist, and it's very, very unusual for somebody to say that they are a founder and managing partner of a dental organization if they're not a dentist. That's the first thing I get asked when they ask me what I do, and then talk about my company, and they say, "Oh, you're a dentist," and I'm not. So I get that question quite a bit, and it's actually quite simple. I was working in medical device. Doing business development, sales, things like that.
Oh, cool.
Running a small surgical distribution company in San Antonio. It was running it for somebody else, which is great. But he made decisions on behalf of the company that were not beneficial to me ultimately, and I needed to do something on my own.
Sure.
I'd worked for corporate America for about 8 years before, or probably about 6 years before I started medical device, and I was ready to do something of my own. My really good friend Brian Stewart is a dentist. He had his own practice in San Antonio. Didn't care for the aspects of management, leadership,
Sure.
being all things to all people all the time.
Yeah, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, all the things that make dentistry great. And so we were just in his backyard over beer. We were talking about, life and work, and both of us were pretty disappointed with our work. And so I proposed that we do something together. And he said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I don't know. Dentistry seems like a pretty good gig." And he said, "But I think we can do it better." And he kind of looked at me funny and said, "What does that mean?" And I said, "I don't know. Give me a minute. Give me a little bit of time. I'm gonna write a business plan." And so I did. I wrote a business plan for a dental organization that was high customer touch, a level of customer service that I wasn't used to in the industry, and it really wasn't there 15 years ago. And extended hours. So we're open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Saturdays and Sundays. So we're open almost every day of the year. And that was where we got started. And so went to the bank, took out a loan that was way too big for my comfort level 15 years ago. We opened a small 4-out practice, soon to grow into 8 locations, about 120 chairs across San Antonio. We got about 250 employees. Work with 30 plus doctors and orthodontists, or general dentists and orthodontists, about 40 hygienists, about 92 dental assistants, and then a bunch of administrative team members as well. So.
Yeah, that's cool. So dentistry over beers is how you got into this world.
Yes, dentistry over beers. Yeah.
I love it, man.
I think some of the greatest things have come from backyard beers.
Backyard beers. No, I love it, dude. That's super rad. And you guys have had a ton of success with creating and growing your own dental membership plan, which, one of the reasons why I brought you on this the podcast today is because of your guys' success, not only with your practices, but what you guys are doing and how you're growing your membership plans. So I think it's really cool. But before we get into that, number one, those of you that don't know what a membership plan is, think like Amazon Prime, but for your patients, where your patients pay you a monthly or yearly subscription in exchange for dental services, savings, and exams and cleanings. So if you're not offering one, it's a wonderful way to attract and retain patients. But from your perspective, Justin, why did you guys start offering a membership plan? Because you started offering one probably before this interest and wave in the industry of membership plans was what it is today, right? So what was the reason you guys started offering membership plans?
So for years we called it an IDP, or an in-house dental plan. We've been doing one since 2009. And what caused us to do that was, we were one of the lucky ones that got to open and start a new business right before the 2008 recession. So
sure, yeah,
that was a lot of fun. It proved to us that we knew what we were doing because we got through it. But what we found, in being in San Antonio, we had a lot of banking institutions, and during that time there was a tremendous amount of consolidation. Wachovia is the Washington Mutuals, all of these companies, they were starting to consolidate, and that meant a huge number of job losses in
sure.
our city during 2009.
Kind of what's happening right now across the nation. A lot of job losses.
Yeah, a lot of tech jobs for sure. But
yeah,
so this was mostly banking, and we had a lot of banks, and so they were consolidating banks, getting rid of a lot of their employees. And so we recognized very early on that these people were going to lose their insurance. And so we decided to come up with a plan it was more of a bridge for them until they could go from this insurance to that insurance.
Sure.
But we found that a lot of patients didn't go from this insurance to that insurance. They just stayed on our plan.
They stayed. Yeah.
Yeah, they got sticky to the practice, and they liked what we offered, so they weren't paying the premium to their next employer. The problem that we had with it, and honestly, the reason that we've enjoyed working with you guys so much, is that we didn't have the technology to track and manage it very well. And
sure.
So I couldn't have,
especially at that time. Yeah. 2009, the tech industry was just a baby then.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So I couldn't have told you how many patients we had on it. I couldn't have told you when any of those people were up for renewal. I couldn't have told you anything.
Yeah.
And so
were you guys at that time, were you collecting subscriptions, or is it just kind of when they walked in, you renewed them?
We were not actively, in some of our direct marketing and stuff like that, it was in a brochure that we had sent out, but it was primarily patients that were coming into our practice
sure.
that they came in for our new patient special, which is like $100, but that's a one-time thing. And it's like, hey, while you're here, let's just do this and moving forward. And that was kind of our marketing for it.
Cool.
But over the years, we got, like I said, I couldn't tell you how many patients we had on it over the years before we started working with you guys, but it worked really well. We knew it worked because we had it in our system that the patients were there, but I couldn't really pull any data on it. So we knew the patients wanted it. We knew they liked it, and they liked coming to us. And so many people, especially kind of the whole COVID era, so many people started moving jobs and stopped working at traditional companies and doing their own things. And so I think there was even more need for it probably over the last 3 years than ever before, because the job market with the gig workforce and all that kind of stuff, they don't have traditional jobs where they're getting insurance from an employer, so they've got to get it from somewhere. And open marketplace for dental insurance is absolute garbage. In fact, dental insurance is garbage at best. And so providing them something that gives them the ability to carry it with them no matter where they are or what they're doing, they can just carry it along with them. It made so much sense to me.
Yeah. So you saw the demand and the need for it. I mean, if you look at the stats, over half the United States doesn't have dental insurance, because I'm sure most Americans realize that, dental insurance is garbage. If they do the simple math, on what they're getting in return, and what's happening, with the dental insurance industry in regards to the offer, right? It's just a terrible offer. So over half the United States doesn't have dental insurance, and you throw COVID in there, and just the constant, even the consistent recessions and things like that happen in our economy, the demand just keeps growing. And that's all I've seen over the years, is the demand for patients that need some type of mechanism like a membership plan to get access to quality dentistry and save some money by becoming loyal to the office. I think that demand just continues to grow, and we're seeing it. I've been doing a lot of research lately, and I've found that there's millions of searches online every month for dental insurance, like alternatives and solutions. Millions. Patients are searching every day, every month for this type of thing. It's fascinating to me that the demand for this is so strong and across the nation, right? So, okay, so you saw the need because of your patients were transitioning jobs, and you're like, well, let's put you on this, and then you realize that they retained them on that. You're like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. And then you started just offering it regularly, and now you offer it's a subscription, monthly. What do you offer? Do you offer monthly and yearly subscriptions to your patients that sign up?
We do. Prior to moving over with you guys, it was a once a year payment. And
okay.
They got a bit of a discount for each additional family member that they brought on, but it was a pay in full. And
that was pretty traditional.
A big part of that was we didn't know, we weren't able to track it and bill for it properly, because and keeping those credit cards on file, we're not PCI compliant, I guess, because we're not. That's not how we're set up. And
sure,
keeping patients confidential information like credit cards was really kind of outside of our comfort zone. And so being able to bill them every month was almost non-existent. We couldn't do it.
Yeah,
we just made it. But that makes it to a point where you got a family of 4 or 5 where it becomes kind of outside of the reach of affordability. And so we didn't always get those families. And so I really like the fact that we've been able to take it to a monthly annual agreement with our patients so they can pay it out and make it more affordable. Do we have patients that still want to pay it in full? Absolutely. We've got some of the we got Dave Ramseyers and some where everything's got to be in a plastic bag. This is for dental.
That's funny.
And we've got a bunch of retired patients that have very fixed incomes, and everything is just kind of the way that it is, and they want to pay for everything. So, when we worked with you guys to figure that out so that we could do monthly or annual, but I would say 99% of our patients opt for a monthly option.
Yeah, that's interesting, because like if I owned a practice, I would definitely offer, a monthly membership plan because of several reasons, right? Number one is that it's under the radar payments. You're not like a yearly payment. If it's like $400 a year, like people feel that, right? Maybe around a birthday party or a like a kid's birthday or around Christmas, or where they get that money taken out and it's like, oh, that actually hurt, right? So that's why I like monthly, is because the under the radar payments. I also like them because they're evergreen. Because they're under the radar, they tend to stay on longer. Where I've noticed, at least with the data I have on our platform, that yearly subscriptions tend to cancel or churn out more frequently than monthly subscriptions. So I think that's cool that you guys do that. And you guys actually do something very unique in the dental space with your pricing packaging. And I was inspired by it so much, and I'll let you talk about that in a minute because I think it's really interesting. But we were inspired by it so much here at BoomCloud that we actually, for our own service offerings, we converted to that type of model of basically choose your own adventure type model in pricing.
That's so funny you say that. I was talking to my marketing director today, and I actually use that exact same quote. I said, we can choose your own adventure.
That's what it is, right? Yeah. And we switch our own packaging. We're selling the BoomCloud software and the BoomCloud marketplace. So our VP of sales, Tyson, who you met in New York, I think you've met him several times, but we were hanging out in New York all together. But I remember Tyson coming to me. He's like, I really like what 7to7 is doing with their packaging. We should consider doing that, to sell our software. And we did that, and it increased our conversion rates like crazy. So why don't you tell our audience kind of how you guys have set up your pricing? Because I think it's genius, and I think it really kind of caters to all types of patients and their needs.
Yeah. So if you look at the traditional model, whether a practice has a membership or they've got an in-house dental plan or whatever they choose to call it, or however they administer it, there's usually a one-size-fits-all option that they put out for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that one-size-fits-all is typically, a cleaning or 2 cleanings a year, exams, maybe an emergency visit, x-rays, things like that at no cost above and beyond the membership fee. And then they sit there and they beat themselves up over what the percentage discount is going to be, because they're like, I don't want to give away my services. I'd rather mow my grass and do a crown for 30% off, right? And so but the reality of it is if you don't give them something that in their mind meets the needs of what it is that they're going to be doing in your practice, then it's not valuable enough for them, right? And they're not going to,
you have to have a good offer,
20, 30, 40, $50 a month for this membership. And so, and then setting it up as a one size fits all, everybody wants choices. Now, if you give too many, then you get like paralysis, like analysis paralysis from your buyers, and they'll choose
totally
think about it and then do nothing. So
if it's too complicated, people just shut down and they're like, I'm not going to choose. I'm not going to decide.
Yeah, I call that the cheesecake phenomenon, Cheesecake Factory phenomenon, right? You get
too many cheesecake options.
It looks like a novel, like a 1,700 page novel.
Yeah,
and you can't choose what you want to eat. So go to a barbecue place and you get brisket, chicken, or right. So you get like 3 options, but what it ultimately does is you set these plans up they're going to be mutually beneficial for the practice and for the patient. But it also doesn't require somebody to jump into something that they don't need. Let's say you've got a patient that has they know that they're going to have a lot of dental needs, and so they're going to choose my platinum package, which gives a lot more service offerings, a lot higher discounts, but it's considerably more expensive than my routine maintenance package, which is basically like a preventative and basic services package. But somebody who's been going to the dentist regularly and may have just recently retired or lost their dental insurance or chose to not renew it, they don't need that. They just want the cleaning aspect of it. They're going to come in twice a year and they're going to get their cleans. They don't need to pay me the big. And they don't even need to pay for the minimum or the middle one. They need to pay for the least expensive that's going to get them what they need. And we're going to have a patient forever.
Yeah.
And then you have patients that really have a lot of needs and they know that. But we even give the option, if they choose the least expensive one, come in, determine that they have a lot more needs that they thought, they can upgrade to that. So we give them 3 options, and it's better, it's good, better, best. And
or low needs, medium needs, high needs.
Yeah.
Something like that. No, I think it's amazing. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. And it's worked really well for us. I've gotten a little bit of criticism from some of my colleagues. They're like, well, that's too hard. you shouldn't have that many options. I'm like, okay, you do you and I'll do me. And I found that mine works really, really well.
Yeah, so let's go off of the data right now, because you guys have grown a very successful membership plan. So you may have some people say, like you said, well, 3 plans is too much, but well, let's look at the data. Is it too much? Because you guys have, you know, a growing membership plan, and kind of share the stats with what you guys have achieved so far with your membership plan. What's the active members? And I know you have multiple locations. What are the active members? How much revenue is it producing for membership revenue is it producing?
Just so everybody understands, we've been working with you guys since October 21.
Yeah.
And since October 21, that puts us right about a year and a half that we've been working with you guys. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think so. This sounds about right.
We've grown that, and I don't know exactly how many of our old IDP patients. Everyone that was on an in-house dental plan has since transitioned, but I don't know how many of them transitions or were new members, new patients, or I don't have the data on that. But
sure, that's fine.
What I do know is that in the year and a half that we've been working with you guys, we've had 20. It's just over 2,200 people join our membership plan, and that's a combination of silver, gold, and platinum. Funny enough, with those options, I kind of thought people would tend to kind of go towards the middle.
Sure.
And they don't. So
they go to the higher end, right?
They either go low or they go high. So
it's the same on our packaging too. I've noticed it's either low or high.
Our breakup is 45 low, 45 high, 10 middle.
Wow.
And I was really blown away because I thought I knew what the consumer would do, but it shows how little I know about the consumer family, or their decision making. But what I do know is they needed options, and this allows them. And so, yeah, we're about 45, 10, 45, and we've added 2,200 patients. We typically add somewhere in the neighborhood of about 150 to 200 new patients per month.
Wow, that's cool.
That does include 8 offices across our city, but
sure.
But we're still adding about 150 to 200 patients. And funny enough, a lot of the patients that are joining our membership are not joining in office. They're patients that have never even been to our practice, signing up for our membership. And one of the things that we have a person that's their sole responsibility is to manage the membership, and they every new member that signs up, her first job is to call them, welcome them to the practice, and get their appointment scheduled.
So onboard them. Yeah. So you have an onboarding person.
Yeah.
Or a new patient, new membership patient committee.
Well, that's exactly what it is, because the one thing I don't want them to do is join
and not show up,
and then get nothing from us, and then like, well, this is dumb, and then they forget to call, and they're like, oh, well, I see this, I don't need that anymore. So our goal, and there's been studies that show that the quicker you get with somebody who signs up for any type of a subscription of membership, and you get them acclimated and on board and moving forward with it, the longer they're going to stay on it. So that's a big deal for us, is making sure that we are the first, that you get a phone call from us immediately to schedule and get them in our practice.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important, because I mean, onboarding is so critical, like you said, especially in a subscription economy, right? And if a patient is signing up online without talking to anybody, it's awesome. You want to quickly connect with them and get them in the schedule, because a lot of the times we see that, you know, member patients spend 3 times more with a practice than non-member patients from our data. And I think it's really critical to get these types of patients in, because of the value they bring to the table, right? And obviously, it's just a win-win for both the patient and your practice. So with that many active membership patients, what type of monthly recurring revenue are we looking at here with your platform or your program?
Right now, we're about 85,000 and growing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So
that's $1 million membership plan.
Yeah. So and like I said, it's continuing to grow. So we're really pleased with the results. And you know, my director of marketing, he does most of the work on getting this out to the community. But his goal is to have, you know, I don't think we're going to meet it, because we're we're not moving at the trajectory we wanted. We're kind of staying level on the number of patients that joined per month. He was really hoping to skyrocket it, but we're staying very consistent. But he was wanting to have 4,000 or 5,000 members by October of this year, which is obviously we're not going to meet that number. But I don't have any doubt in my mind that we'll probably be somewhere above 3,000 by October of this year.
Yeah, I would imagine. What are you guys doing to promote externally? So, because you got obviously patients walking in and you're educating them. I'm guessing you have signage, and your team is maybe trained to, talk about joining the membership plan from like an internal marketing perspective. Did I miss anything there? Is that kind of what you guys from like as patients walk in, is your team or teams talking to patients about it? What are they doing internally?
The first thing that we did was we came up with a picture that we put in every one of our lobbies, and it's basically a bunch of blue umbrellas our colors are orange and blue, so it worked for us. But
Sure,
it was a bunch of blue umbrellas with a big orange umbrella sticking above all of them, and it says "Drop the insurance, we've got you covered."
yes,
And we've got brochures throughout the office. We have televisions. We have two TVs in every single operatory that we have, and we use a marketing basically like you go to a bar that has like advertising, and then it does some entertaining stuff like Chive or something like that on the back end. We do the same thing, and so we make custom videos and do all kinds of things. And part of that real marketing is going to be for our membership plan and trying to convince people to kind of transition away from dental insurance. We don't tell them that dental insurance is bad, because that's the last thing.
You don't want to talk negative. You
don't want to tell somebody that their baby's ugly, right? And
especially like to a patient, like behind the scenes, like, we can make fun of insurance all we want, but when you're talking to patients, I think there needs to be a little bit more class, right? And not.
There's always, and when we're talking to patients, we're like, oh, we love your insurance. It works great in our office, but we don't really mean it. I mean, it does work good in our office, as good as dental insurance can.
Sure. Right? Yeah. No, I like that.
And so, but yeah, we started kind of just internally starting the wheels marketing, but our team is so comfortable talking about a dental plan, just modifying the verbiage to a membership and having options was not really that difficult for my team. We weren't adding a new layer of complexity that they had never seen before.
It's pretty simple.
So that was helpful. We just had to kind of get everybody on board with what the different tiers were, which wasn't too challenging. My hygienists really like it. My treatment coordinators love it, because you can take somebody that's got a $5,000 treatment plan, and it's got a $5,000 treatment plan, and say, hey, if you joined our membership, you'd save this much money, and they can kind of show them options. So a lot of times patients are saving more on their restorative side than they pay for the membership for an entire year, right? So my treatment coordinators absolutely love it. They won't shut up about it to patients that come in that don't have some type of insurance.
A good treatment coordinator is valuable, especially with membership plans, because they understand both the pains of the practice and the patient, and they can kind of use those two to create a really good relationship between your patients. That's awesome. So go ahead.
And then once we kind of got the internal stuff mapped out, we need to start looking at our external side, our direct to patient marketing.
Sweet.
Right? So that's something that we have always done. We've always been very big on direct to patient marketing, because I look at marketing much like I look at dental supplies. If you don't have dental supplies, you can't do the dentistry for the patients. But if you don't have patients, you can't do any dentistry.
Absolutely.
So I look at it kind of like air, where a lot of practices look at it like an expense. I look at it as a requirement to run our business. And so we've always been very heavy in the marketing. We do direct mail, we do PPC, we do SEO, we do geo-targeting for around emergency care clinics, for like urgent care clinics. We're on Hulu. We do geofencing on Hulu, Pandora, you name it. We do all kinds of stuff. We're on our local radio stations, the Soccer Mom, the top 40 radio stations, where we've been marketing with those guys for years. We do DJ testimonials. So all the DJs that talk for us, they're all of our patients. And
that's awesome.
So, and we sponsor UTSA. We do all this sponsorship stuff. And so we had a pretty easy time getting it out there. just kind of modify your message a little bit and say, hey, look what
Sure.
we got here. And it's been very, very effective.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys use multiple marketing channels, which I would obviously recommend because that's how you grow. There's no one silver bullet marketing channel that's going to work, right? I mean, what I would recommend is if you're new to marketing your practice, choose one, get good at it, and then bolt on the next one, right? And keep adding multiple marketing channels, because it obviously could get overwhelming if you're trying to do all of them at once. But from radio ads to direct mail marketing to PPC or Google search ads, and the Hulu commercials, that's actually really creative. I don't think you see too many dental offices doing that, so that's really interesting. And I would imagine it's a digital advertising platform, so it'd probably be pretty straightforward to set up from what it seems.
Yeah, my marketing director handles it all from his office. He does it, it's nothing. And we regularly, every month we're making new videos, and so we work with a company that does professional videos for us. And so every month
Smart.
we're making a video about something, either it's a training video or marketing video, or talking about end of year benefits or membership or whatever it may be. And what we run primarily on Hulu, when it's not a specific time of year that we're promoting one thing or another, is our membership.
Yeah, and how on like a Hulu type commercial, how are you getting people? Are you getting people to call, or are they scanning like a QR code from the TV? What are they doing from there?
Typically, we've got a QR code that comes up on that ad.
Cool.
Our goal is not for them to call about
Yeah.
their membership; it's to go and look at it. And so it takes them to our landing page. The QR code takes them to the membership landing page. I don't want them to call at first and say, "Hey, tell me about your membership."
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
we take about 600 to 700 phone calls a day from our patients trying to schedule appointments.
Sure.
This, that, and the other. And
So you're trying to manage that, yeah.
trying to manage just answering a million questions that we actually have answered, frequently asked questions on our website. So we encourage them to go there first, and then if they have questions, obviously call. But that's kind of the direction. But it also, it's also very easy for them to sign up right there. It's like, boom, you're here. Here's what it is, and now sign up.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And you guys have a marketing team, right? Is that Travis? Travis is the marketing guy, right?
You call it a marketing team. Travis is the marketing team. So Travis is all things marketing.
That's the beautiful thing about marketing, though, because it's a one-to-many type department or system in a business. So you don't need a large marketing team. And because you guys have, how many locations you guys have right now?
We've got 8, well, 9 in May.
So nine locations in May, and you got one guy doing all the marketing for all locations. So that which is pretty cool, because like I said, marketing is a one-to-many type business function. So you really don't need a ton of marketers. You just need one guy who's smart. Yeah, a good one.
One good
right.
one.
So and that's the fun part too. That's my favorite part about business is marketing. That's my knowledge of marketing. That's how I was able to start my company, Boom Cloud. And with my knowledge of marketing, I was able to scale it, just being one dude at the time, right? Now we've got a whole team. But no, that's the power of a good marketer. So a nice job finding Travis. I don't know how you found him, but Travis, right?
No, it's right, Travis.
Okay, cool. I talk to lots of people, so sometimes I get names mixed up. One of my last questions I have for you, we didn't talk about this, but I've been getting this question a lot, and I know you have experience with it because I want to connect you with several practice owners that have dealt with this. There's a practice up in Idaho that I talk to a lot that it's on our platform, and they're like, Jordan, we got all these practices kind of very similar to your setup. I think they have a few practices, and they're non-dentists, right, that own them. And he's like, we got all these all of our associates and our dentists that work with us. The hardest thing that we're dealing with is getting them convinced on the membership plan, because they think that they want to collect full fee for what they do, which I totally get. Like I get it, but I am also a big believer in if you are strategic with like discounting and helping patients save, then it will pay way more than trying to collect 100% of your fees. So you got practices or dentists that have a hard time with the mindset, and then you have also dentists that may be associates, and they're like, well, how do I get paid for this, right? So those are the two questions I have for you. How did you solve that with all the docs you work with?
It was a very tough time of life for me. Um, it kind of goes back to the beginning of our conversation when I was talking about doctors not wanting to give away 30% because they're
Sure.
like, because and I understand the initial principle.
Yeah.
If I get something, if I get $1,000 for doing something and then I do it for $700, I lost $300.
Sure.
But what they're missing is that 100% of the $1,000 procedures that you present are not going to do it. So if 100% of your patients always did everything that you wanted when you said to do it, there's no reason to have anything like a membership that gives discounts and benefits and reasons for them to get this stuff done. But what ultimately happens is that you present this $1,000 treatment or this 10,000 or whatever, let's say 1,000 for MASIC, $1,000 procedure, and we're talking about fee for service, right? We're not talking about insurance fee. So fee for service, very few people are going to do that unless they're in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say, hey, here's a membership that as a practice owner, I'm over the course of a year, I'm going to collect. Now the associate doesn't get this, but the practice $400, and then but the associates also want they say, well, I want some of that. It's like, well, you're not paying for any of the hygiene that we're doing for free. So this is a wash.
I agree.
But so you say, okay, well, maybe 10 to 20% of the patients will do that. So out of 10 procedures, you're going to do 2 on the high side.
Yeah.
So you're going to get $2,000 worth of production. But if you have somebody on a membership who has made a personal commitment to your practice and to getting their dental care done,
a commitment with their wallet.
And so they had to pay for it. So now they want to use the benefit that they've paid for. And so, okay, now I'm going to do $700 crowns. So let's say it's a 30% discount. I'm going to do $700 crowns, but I'm going to do 50% of the ones that I present.
Sure.
So now I'm going to do 5 instead of 2.
Yeah.
So now instead of doing $2,000 worth of production, I'm going to do what, $3,500 worth of production.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
a lot more.
I've almost doubled it, and if I can increase that just one more, then I've more than doubled the amount of dentistry that I'm going to do. Yes, it takes a little bit more time, but the associates aren't paying for the supplies. The associates aren't paying for anything. The only thing is a little bit of difference to how they get paid. But if they weren't doing those other crowns at $700, you know where they would be?
Where?
Behind a computer doing nothing. So it's a matter. It's a matter of filling chairs with reasonably priced dentistry that doesn't cost the practice money. You don't want to do things that are going to lose you money, but if the associate wins, the practice wins, and the patient wins,
totally,
there's no reason not to do that. And it's funny because when we first did this, I got doctors that are doing, Delta Dental is probably the largest dental insurance in the country.
Yeah.
I would say most practices, even those that don't accept most insurance, many times will accept Delta because they make it so challenging to be out of network with them.
Yep, they do.
And they'll sit there and they'll do Delta Dental crown fees for, in San Antonio, our Delta Dental crown is $640. My usual and customary fee for a crown is $1,250. And they do those all day long, and they've never said a word about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we roll out our membership plan, and and the crown fee is like $750, and you would have thought that I just stole their child or something. Why do you do this to me? And so, I mean, we went through this. I had some doctors that were like, hey, no, I get it. I understand economies of scale. I'm going to do more work. I'm going to keep my cool. Yeah. And then I had some that didn't. But they also, one of the biggest challenges they had is like, look, you guys are acting like every single person that walks through here to do dentistry with you is going to be a platinum member. And I said, but think about the data behind this. I said, we saw 47,000 hygiene patients last year, and 2,200 of those are membership patients. So it's a small percentage of everyone that we're seeing. So you guys are really overestimating how many membership patients we're seeing. but you should want to see membership patients because, and here's the number one thing to get past associates with, because most associates are paid off of net production or collections.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't have to deal with any other people other than the patient to get paid for the work that you've done. I make an agreement between the doctor and the patient, and we collect that money. So that means that you get paid right now. There is no fear of the insurance company going, that's not in their policy. You can't do that. You can't charge the patient. No, you can't do this. We don't
no red tape.
Crown. We don't see that needed this. Oh, well, you should have done we're going to downgrade that from a bridge to a partial because they are missing a tooth in the other quadrant. None of that nonsense. So everything that you agree with the patient, you're going to get paid for, and you're going to get paid quicker because we're not dealing with third-party payers.
Yeah. So we'll sum it up for them. So number one, a membership plan can act as an attraction tool or marketing tool. It allows the practice to generate predictable recurring revenue, which is a cash flow strategy. It appears that membership plans help increase the conversion rates of treatment acceptance. So it's a sales tool. And then it helps retain. So it's a loyalty system. And number three, the last one would be an avenue to reduce dependence on PPOs. Did I miss anything there, Justin?
You nailed it. I mean, the reality of it is.
Oh, and a patient experience tool, because you don't have to deal with the BS of dental insurance, and the patient doesn't have to, neither does the practice.
I would say very rarely are patient frustrations do they come from the interactions and the dentistry that's being done to them.
Sure.
It really comes from some kind of misunderstanding about how their insurance works. And
yeah.
And you know how much the insurance cares?
Zero. They don't care.
You know how often they answer the phone and answer those questions in a way that the patient's going to understand? Zero. But you know who always answers their phone? We do. So we get to be the bad guy on behalf of the insurance company.
Sure.
Get something wrong. And a membership allows us to not have those miscommunications. It's like, here's what it is. Here's what your discount is. Here's how much you owe. And we're going to do that for you. And you're not going to get a bill from us later because this is what it is.
Yeah. Simple.
Yeah.
No, I love it. No, thanks for answering that question, because I may link you up with a couple practice owners that they may need help with their associates, and kind of because you've expressed your story to me in New York, and I thought it was interesting how you were able to handle that and coach your team, and I think it requires some leadership skills, and I think that's awesome that you're able to do that. But dude, I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing information to our listeners about how you've grown $1 million membership plan and growing, right? It hasn't stopped there. That's a beautiful thing about these membership plans, is they're not static. They continue to grow and offer more value the more effort you put into it. So I think it's amazing. So for all of our listeners, I do have a book that teaches you how to grow a $1 million membership plan, teaches you how to think about marketing and a lot of the things we talked about on the show today. So go to boomcloudapps.com, and I have a free book section on our homepage that you can go to and grab those books. It's fantastic. So Justin, I know you also own a little company called Treatment 24/7, which is another software tool. Why don't you explain a little bit about that and direct some of our listeners over there so they can check that out too?
Yeah, thank you for plugging us. I appreciate that. So basically, Treatment 24/7, I created this back in 2010 because I'm just an old salesman at heart, and I found that the practice management software that we have is absolutely horrific. Any dentist, any office manager, anybody that works in dentistry that needs some type of administrative or realistic understanding of what's going on knows that Dentrix, EagleSoft, Open Dental, all of those, and almost all of them anyway, are pretty much garbage. They don't track anything.
Yeah,
they have
it's
a
tough.
chart and a schedule. That's about it. And so, and the treatment plan that these things spit out was so confusing. Patients would, I had patients ready to move forward as I would treatment plan them, and then they would see this treatment plan with a bunch. It looks like I may as well have written in candies. I mean, it was they couldn't make heads or tails out of any of it. So I created something that allowed us to present dentistry in layman terms. So instead of, a resin composite, two surface posterior, it says two color filling, right? And
Sure.
and it took all of the numbers out of it. It took all of the fee, the insurance coverage, because I felt that was lying to patients, telling them how much their insurance was going to pay, because we don't actually know.
You don't know. Yeah.
We don't know. And you can say the word estimate to patients all day long,
But they still think it's,
they
don't.
So we just changed it to how much the patient owed. And, they're like, well, how much is my insurance covering? We're like, it's going to take care of the rest. But more importantly than that, so we created this very simple treatment plan for patients to use. And we've even improved it now where it's a full from start to finish payment platform. So the patient's got a QR code on their treatment plan. They can scan it, make their payments. It lets us know when those payments have been made so we can schedule the patients. But so if they don't want to make the decision right in office, they need to talk to somebody, they don't have to call back and pay for it. But it's a CRM. And for anybody that's ever been in business environment, CRM is imperative for you to
so
understand
core.
what your opportunities are. And Dentrix has no CRM. Eaglesoft has no CRM. And none of the practice managements have a CRM. And so every patient that you create a treatment plan for in Dentrix, when they walk out of the door, if they don't schedule and do that dentistry right then, they vaporize into thin air. They're gone. Your team doesn't know how to follow up with them without looking back days and days and days on your schedule, then looking at the treatment plan, going to their chart. So we created a CRM. We're synced with Dentrix, Eaglesoft, Open Dental. So everything is real time. So the second you put it in Dentrix, it's back in our side, and it keeps track of everything. It keeps track of who the doctor was, who the treatment coordinator was, all the notes that the treatment coordinator leaves about what they talked to the patient about. It has follow-up, so it will remind the treatment coordinator next time they come in, here are all your follow-ups for the day. And then you can set, the managers can set objectives for them on follow-ups, things like that. But
cool.
It's millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that most practices have in opportunities that never get touched again until that patient comes back for their 6, 8, 10, 12-month recare visit, or 18. Most patients aren't even on a 6-month. So it's just millions and millions. And so what most practices do is they're like, we need more new patients. It's like, no, you don't. You need to be more effective with the treatment plans that you've already got.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. No, I think you guys have a really cool product. And in the same way, I think about, most practices think they need more patients, which I think obviously you don't want to turn that off, but there's probably more value in the existing customer or patient base than what most practices realizes. And that's why I think most successful companies grow, is because they realize that they don't want to ignore their current customer base or patient base because of the opportunities that probably are sitting right under their nose, and they already have a relationship with those patients, right? So I think it's just,
thing. New patients are a must in any business, or new customers, new patients, because you're gonna have natural attrition. People are gonna move, people are gonna go somewhere else, whatever the case may be. But really, I believe that probably the most mismanaged business in the world is hygiene department of any dental practice. And they allow the patients to just go away, and they don't. It's like they've got a database of patients that were their patient, and they just like, well, they just keep filling them with new patients, and so it's probably
like, get them back. Yeah,
business.
Get them back. Yeah. I know that's one thing that I look at. Obviously I don't run a dental practice, but business is universal. I run a software company. And our existing customers, there's a lot of value, packed in there, and offering them new services or ways to help them, grow their membership plan. That's how I think about it. Like, and I'll let my VP of sales, focus on the new customers, but I'm focused on adding more value to our current customers, right? And learning from them. I think that's, really how successful companies, grow and become better. So, man, share the website. What's the website for Treatment 24/7?
It's treatment247.com. That's the word treatment, the number 24, and then SEVEN.com.
Cool. I'll put that in the show notes. Go check that product out. Justin, man, thanks again for coming on the show. I hope all of our listeners have learned something new today. I always do when I talk to you. It's always fun to pick your brain and see what's made you successful. That's one of my favorite things about podcasting, is learning from other people. So thanks again, and we hope everyone has a rockin' day.
Thanks, Jordan. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, buddy. We'll see you soon.